welcome to Sierra Make. So I keep seeing these ads for succulent pillows pop up all over social media, and they are so cute. I really want one. But I'm not a huge fan of spending money on things that I can make, and the design looks super simple, and also I don't value my time. So we're gonna make one today. Let's jump in. To start, I'm just going to lay out some of this soft green fabric. You might remember it from any of my stuffed animal videos, like the turtle plushie or the frog from TikTok Stuffy. And just like in a lot of those stuffed animal videos, I ended up winging this pattern, but I'm going to show you what I did. I started with taking a pillow that I thought was a good size and measuring the length of it. It ended up being 15 inches. And then I did a little bit of geometry to come up with an equilateral triangle that was the same length, which I then cut out of a piece of paper and then cut that out of 2 layers of my green fabric. So I have 2 pieces of this triangle. I also reshaped 3 smaller triangles I had cut out into this kind of scale-like shape. So they're curved at the bottom and curved on the edges. And I ended up taking that triangle pattern that I made and turning it more into kind of a 3-pointed flower shape. So I rounded the edges and brought in the sides a little bit. Here's the final pattern that I ended up using. You can see my varying sizes of scale pieces and my base pillow piece. I'm calling them scale pieces, but they're little leaves. Anyways, then I just cut out several different sizes of leaves out of my fabric. Make sure that it's doubled up because you need a piece for each side of the leaf. And I ended up using 3 large pieces, 4 medium-sized pieces, 2 small ones, and then 1 piece that was between large and medium, and another piece that was between medium and small. So now I have 11 leaves, discounting the base. And we're going to start sewing these leaves together. So I'm just going to put both of the right sides of the fabric facing each other with the wrong sides out, and we are going to sew around this like I did here. You can see I left a little gap in the bottom so that I can flip it inside out, but first I'm going to cut off those corners just so that the fabric doesn't get in the way of those corners when I flip it inside out. Now we are going to flip it inside out and stuff it with some soft cotton stuffing. Now I just need to top stitch that hole closed, and we have our first leaf piece. Now I just need to repeat the process for the other 10 triangles. So let me say it again for the people in the back. First, we have our 2 pieces of fabric that we then sew together, leaving a little gap in the bottom. Then we cut off those corners, flip it inside out, stuff it, and top stitch that hole closed. Once all of your leaf pieces are stuffed and closed, it's time to sew them onto the top piece of that triangle base that we had cut out earlier. I just kind of planned out where I wanted my pieces to go just so that it wouldn't be lopsided or anything. So I'm going to start with sewing down the largest leaves in this circle-like shape. And I'm going to use a zigzag stitch just because I don't really care if it shows, and I feel like it will hold a little bit better than the straight stitch. Here's a closer look at that stitch. And now I'm going to do the next 3 medium-sized pieces, also in kind of a triangle circle shape. I could also hand stitch this if I was feeling patient, but I never am. And now I'm just going to keep adding leaf pieces in a spiral-like shape, making sure that those leaves kind of overlap with each other and I'm able to cover up any of my stitches. And another one until I just have a tiny little bit of space left. And since I don't have a whole lot of space left, I'm just going to hand stitch that last little piece in, trying to make it so that you can't see any of these stitches. And now that all of our leaf or petal or triangle pieces are on this pillow, it's time to do the base of it. It's funny, you can see my crazy stitching spiral on the bottom of that when I flip it over. But now it's time to do the base of this pillow. So I'm just going to place the right sides of the fabric facing each other with that whole triangle bit in between the two pieces of fabric. And I'm going to sew around that as best I can, leaving a hole just wide enough to be able to pull all of those leaf pieces out when I flip this inside out again. Honestly, that's looking pretty good. So all that's left to do now is to stuff the base of the pillow and hand stitch that opening closed. I'm going to do an invisible stitch or a ladder stitch to kind of hide my stitching here. I will try and zoom in so that you can see, but basically you go straight across connecting the two pieces and then up one rung and straight across, kind of like a ladder. You know, it's more square. It's a square zigzag stitch. Anyways, once that's all sewed up, we just tie it off and cut that and ba-bam! There is our adorable succulent pillow. It was super easy to make. It is super cute, and it honestly didn't take a whole lot of time to do it. If you thought this tutorial was helpful, be sure to hit the like button. Comment down below if you've also gotten ads for this succulent pillow on your social media. Share this video with any of the plant parents you know. And please subscribe because I post every Friday at 3. Thank you for watching.